you probably have a monthly budget that you track every month. Things like rent, mortgage, car payments, groceries, insurance, and you keep track of your income. You have your paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, and every month you have your expenses that come out of it. And that's your budget, and that keeps you on track for savings or for retirement or just making sure that you have enough funds. But emergencies come up, and that's why if you follow things like the Dave Ramsey Financial Peace Plan, they have the emergency fund, or you might want to keep some money on the side in case something goes wrong. But it's important to recognize that most emergencies aren't really emergencies. In fact, there are many secret stealth hidden expenses that you don't have on your monthly budget that come up that seem like they're emergencies. And many times, these are the items that put somebody in financial distress. They're things that if somebody is bankrupt or somebody is evicted, they say, well, it's because I had this event happen, this big emergency. Some emergencies aren't quite that catastrophic. They may just set you back a little bit, like the transmission blows on your car, or you have a health event that costs you $1,000 in the emergency room. So let's talk about these hidden stealth expenses that some people call emergencies, and how can we change the mindset so they're not catastrophic and they don't create a permanent or financial crisis that makes it hard to crawl out from. Many of these things that you look at are, like we said, transmission blows on your car, $2,000. That's an emergency. Hit your emergency fund. Your pet has to go to the vet. That's $500. You have to go to the doctor. There's a $1,000 deductible. Even smaller items that aren't on your budget that come up that pinch the profit and loss of your monthly expenses sometimes seem like they come out of nowhere. Like, oh, it was your cousin's birthday. You had to buy a birthday present. Your sister's getting married. You had to buy a bridesmaid's dress. There was some party you have to go to bring a gift to. There will always be these things coming up. If you look at your budget and say, well, we didn't have as much money this month because it was my sister's birthday, that's only for this month. Well, every month it's going to be somebody's birthday. Every month there's going to be some event. At the end of the year, you're going to have Christmas. You're going to have to buy Christmas presents. That happens every year. If you have to buy a birthday present for somebody in July, this July isn't the only time they had a birthday. They had a birthday the year before, right? Even if they're not things that are catastrophic, there are things that are constantly eroding your net worth that you don't even know about. If you own a home, your roof has a 20 or 30 year lifespan. A roof could cost $30,000. That means over the course of the life of that roof, it costs $1,000 a year for that roof to deteriorate. That's $100 a month. Unless you're putting that money away every month, when that roof needs repair in 30 years, it's going to seem like that $30,000 is an emergency. It's going to seem like that $30,000 is unexpected. You may vaguely know that it's coming, but you're not necessarily budging for it. Or maybe you are, but some people aren't. Transmission on your car breaking. Those are things that come up on a regular basis. It may not be expected. It may not be, if you have a low mileage car, you may not think your transmission is going to break, but something is going to happen. You just don't know what it is. And if you look back in your budgets for the last 3 or 4 years, you may find that the amount of these emergencies or these unexpected things, it's going to be about the same every year. They may be different things. Maybe last year it wasn't a transmission, but you needed tires for your car. Maybe the year before it wasn't a doctor bill, but your water heater broke, and that's $400. Every year, these unexpected things are going to come up on a regular basis. If you look back at your budget and your financial history, you'll see every year certain things come up. You won't know specifically what they are until they happen, but that's the worst time to start thinking about how you're going to pay for it. If you look and say, well, every year there's $4,000 worth of these unexpected things, unknown things, that means if you budget maybe $400 a month, you'll be able to absorb those if that's your history. Look, I get it. It's easy to say, hard to do. It's easier for me to say you should save this money, right? I know budgets are tough. I'm not trying to talk down to you or make it seem like it's condescending. But to try to smooth out some of these expenses, if you plan a budget for having these things come up, it'll make it easier when they do. Now, what does that mean? You're not going to magically make 400 come out of thin air, but if you know that your actual real budget has $400 extra per month of expense in it, you'll be able to make other decisions. Maybe you don't spend as much on gas or groceries. Maybe you find a way to earn some more money. That urgency of having the $400 as a real actual expense will make you look at the overall picture in a different way. Not just things that you know come up every month. You know, your rent is going to be, $2,150 every month, month in, month out. You can expect that because that's a thing. Your car payment is $362 a month if you have one. That's a thing. Your grocery bill, right? You know what those things are. These other variable, unexpected things, you may go 3 months without one, and then when one shows up for $1,000, you think that it's unexpected. You think that it's not part of your real budget. In fact, in historical terms, these things have been happening all your life and have been happening to people all your life. So if you find ways to average out what they are and just put the money away, so not only do you have an emergency fund, but you have an emergency expense, emergency budget line item. That way you really will never have to tap your emergency fund, because most of the things that are emergencies really are predictable. Again, not the specific item, but in general that these things happen. Birthdays, pet to the vet, new roof on your house, repair the water heater, go to the doctor, transmission on your car. Look, the list is endless. If you sit down and write a list of all of the things that were not monthly budgeted items, cell phone bills, things like that, things that are outside of that scope, go back a year and a half. You can think of dozens of them, I'm sure. School field trip costs $50. Uniform for the soccer team costs $80, right? These are things that come up. If you at least think about the future, if not go back to the past, and put a block out in your budget of this much, $300 a month, $350 a month, now you'll know that this is your real budget. And you won't be leaving anything out, because if you leave them out at the end of the month, you have no money. It's like, well, where did the money go? Well, that's where it went. It went to these things that always happen, but they're hidden, they're secret, they're covert. They're almost like stealth expenses. So, again, I'm not trying to say that it's easy to do, because you can't magically make money show up in your budget or your income. But at least knowing about it will give you some comfort that you know really where you stand. That it won't be stressful or give you anxiety to say, look, I did a budget. I had all my money, my income, my expense, but I never have any money. It's always less than what I thought. These hidden secret things, making them more conspicuous, will help give you comfort that your budget is actually working. Because if you don't put them in, it can demoralize you. It can give you a confidence problem that budgeting actually works. Because if you try real hard with your budget and you have numbers and figures and income and expense, and you concentrate on it, but still the math isn't adding up because you're not seeing these things, it might make you give up and surrender on even trying to do a budget. So putting these things in might help give you more confidence. I hope that helps. Stay tuned for more videos about how to put more power into your personal results.